Welcome back. A few months ago, when I refused to join the media's Harry-Carry assault on the automaker known as Toyota, more than a few of you offered to stick a sword in me. Let me play my reasons at the time right back for you. Believe me, I'm no apologist for Toyota, but it seems like this might be overkill. I just see these guys becoming piñatas from Toyota. Everyone treating the Toyota guys, though, like criminals, but not the guys responsible for making sure that the cars that Americans are driving are safe in the first place. We just want to examine it very closely, and we want to look at all the variables before we rule on it, one way or the other. Two things. My hair is very large. Secondly, I was very right. Now, no less than the Transportation Department saying that maybe Toyota wasn't and isn't a villain after all. That a lot of this was driver error, not Toyota error. Again, that's not me saying that or Toyota saying that. That could be our government ultimately saying that, but not a peep from our government leaders who had no problem making a Prius piñata of the automaker, all but tried, convicted, and executed before they or we really knew what the heck was going on. It's Johnny Honig and Lizzie McDonald and Imogen Lloyd Webber, who ain't exactly holding their breath waiting for any Washington mea culpa. Now, I want to stress here, and Jonathan maybe readily agree with me, I am not saying, and neither is the government saying, Toyota is without some faults here. It's just without total faults. What do you make of that?
Well, Neil, the data is very clear. I mean, now that the cameras are off, you know, the public witch hunt has moved on to another, evil doer. The victims of Toyota had their foot on the gas, not on the brake, as they had all claimed. So, you know, Neil, you're good enough to play back the tape. Where's the statement today from Representative Bobby Rush or Charles Gonzalez or Edward Markey? Maybe they were out there apologizing for some of the heat they threw at this company, knocking literally billions of dollars off its share price back in February. All
right, I apologize, Francis Newton. Lizzie is not here. Guys, you might want to help me with this when that kind of happens. Francis, what do you make of this? That we're not saying Toyota's out of the woods here, but as far as maybe saving its corporate image, it might have another shot. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Toyota's quality control was absolutely top-notch and one of the best. And so it's no surprise to find out that there really wasn't anything wrong with the electrical
no,
Toyota...
Be careful. And I think they've gotten a bum rap as well, but that's not totally the case. I mean, what they're saying is it's not exclusively the case.
Not exclusively the case, but what they're saying is that it could be driver error, and definitely I think in the future that Toyota is going to have cars that are up to standard, up to mark, and it's about the quality control, because they're saying that it might have been the driver mats, it might have been the error, it might not be the computer systems, which I think that's what threatened Toyota's reputation, was that suddenly their engineers didn't have the computer systems in place.
Or didn't know what was going on.
Safe.
Now, Imogen, you know, years ago in the Reagan administration, there was a labor secretary named Ray Donovan who was pilloried in the press and brought up on a I think it was 20-some-odd count indictment on extortion, fraud, you name it. He was found not guilty on every single count. And I remember famous words after he got out of the courthouse. Now, how do I get my good name back, good reputation back? Once you're damaged in the press, regardless of your side on this, it's tough, right?
On some levels, yes, but Toyota, thank goodness, seem to be doing pretty well. Their year-end profits in March were actually up with $2.3 billion.
That's right.
I understand in the next year they're looking at a 48% rise, an increase, which I think is right.
Well, people were, a lot of them were drawn to their cars for the big discounts, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think also what's interesting for me is I only moved here a few months ago. I've now seen basically two big Senate hearings at work, one Toyota for Toyota and the other one Hayward for BP. And I can absolutely understand how senators need to come and shout, which they do, and they have done those Senate hearings.
It's not like you guys don't.
But no,
well,
exactly.
You know,
but they've been too quick to condemn, and they've done this now twice. And I'm finding this
what do you
quite
make of that?
extraordinary.
Because they did come out quick to condemn, and now I don't see them coming out quick to say, well, we're maybe going to cool it on the condemning.
No, I just think that the way that our public and our culture reacts to something like that, I mean, they're just ready to jump all over it before there's any kind of, you know, total conclusive evidence to say that, you know, it really couldn't, not necessarily was completely Toyota's fault here. And I just think that.
But you're not saying Toyota. Jonathan, your point is that Toyota can come back here. It's not a dead fish here, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Audi in the 80s, they're back now. Right. Breast implants at one point in time were completely outlawed.
Audis are back now.
Johnny? They're back now. They can recover.
Well, they can recover, no thanks to the government. which they had to recall, Neil, 8 million vehicles.
Right.
8 million vehicles recalled all at their expense because, you know, Bobby Rush had to get something off his chest.
But we did get breast implants and Toyotas together. Touche. That'll do it. Good night.
How are people just like you making